What up everyone, Froggy here. So the first episode of this show was 27 minutes long, and I know that's really long. That's actually longer than a half-hour television show, because television shows are 22 minutes and then there's 8 minutes for commercials, and I was just 27 minutes raw, uncut, with no commercials. Except a couple of those ads that you saw, but yo, that's me getting paid. So on today's episode, we will be taking a look at the Joby Gorillapod. But not because it's a must-have Monday, because this is a ass Tuesday. Nah, I just made that up right now. Anyways, the Joby Gorillapod. This is the most infamous tripod for vlogging. I mean, it's all due to Casey. Casey's the one who's always using this. He's always using this as a selfie stick. And I can't lie, because of him, I actually bought this myself. This is the really expensive one, like the most expensive one that they have. It's the Joby Gorillapod Focus. I think that's what it's called, the Focus. And I can't lie, but I don't rate this thing at all. I got it because I thought it was gonna make my life easier, and it turned out making my life way more difficult than I thought it was going to. And you're probably wondering, why am I not rating this if this show is must-have Mondays? That's because today's must-have Monday is actually gonna be a better version of this, which this camera's on right now, but I'm not gonna show it to you. For those of you who don't know, I actually shoot all my videos on the 5-Dizzle Mark Trizzle, aka the Canon 5D Mark III. I'm shooting this on a T2i, which is my backup camera. So yo, let me know if there's any difference between the T2i quality and the 5D, because I know YouTube compression is just so bad. Anyways, 5D Mark III, this is a hefty camera. I mean, look at it. This is, you know, this has got some weight to it. It's not as big as a Red camera or an Alexa, but not that I'm comparing it to those. Depending on what kind of lens you put on this too, I mean, that adds more weight to it. Like, this is a pretty hefty 2470 that I have on it right now. Let's get the Joby Gorillapod. This is the Focus one, by the way. And let's try and put the 5D on top of it. Now it's crazy because I know Casey uses the Canon 70D and the 80D. I think he switched to a Sony right now. I don't think the 70D or the 80D were that much smaller than this camera, so I don't know how this guy managed to pull off like hundreds of vlogs filming on this Gorillapod, and I just have trouble filming anything on it. Alright, so we tightened it in. First of all, I hate it when these legs, they get all kind of tangled up. Like, you can't really see it, but you see that little bend right there? You gotta kind of straighten it out so it's better. So I got the camera on it. Let's place it down. I should make this a little bit further. Place it down on the table. It's gonna be hard to see. This is gonna be like watching paint dry. But do you see that back leg right there? Yo, I'm just gonna zoom in on that back leg right there. Actually, now you're gonna see it. Now you're gonna see it. Ready for this? Ready for this? Now imagine I set this down and went and got a shot, and then I walked away from it, and boom, done, yo. Your camera is done. Fall into the ground. Honestly, this Joby cost me like 150 bucks with the stupid ball head, and it just like doesn't even stand up properly. That's the thing, is you will set it up, and then you're like, oh, okay, it's good. You walk away. Look at that. Look at that. What the f? Boom! There you go, broken camera again. You gotta kind of bend the legs a little bit like that, but even then, look, no matter how hard I try to get it to stand up, it always slides. Like, look at that back leg just kind of going. Now, I know this test isn't fair because this is on a glass table, but I've had so many problems with this thing, either on marble, on wood. Like, every single time I would shoot a video, I would have to like really go in on putting these legs at a certain way just so that the camera wouldn't fall. And sometimes you're like filming, you're like looking into the camera, and then you just kind of see it tipping, and it's like, yup, there it goes again. That being said, I don't really rate this for a camera as big as a 5D, but I mean, that's the camera I shoot on, so I need a better solution to this, which is this week's must-have Monday. So this item is actually such a must-have item that I am using it to film this on right now. You ready to see? You ready to see? Boom, yo, there we go. This is this week's must-have Monday. Little tiny tripods. Wait, how am I supposed to do this if I'm filming on the thing I'm supposed to be? So this is this week's must-have Monday. A little tiny tripod like this. And trust me, this thing works wonders. Out of all my camera equipment that I have, this thing gets the most use. And the craziest thing about it is that I never even bought this. Someone borrowed this to me about 5 years ago, and I kind of just came across it a couple months ago when I was looking through my old gear stuff. I never used this tripod because I thought it was so like dinky and like shitty looking. But after using this Gorillapod, I was just like, whoa, oh, you know what? This thing is actually really useful. Just as a size comparison, I'm gonna fold them both up. There you got a little size comparison. This thing is way smaller than the Joby. The only thing is that it has this handle, which it's kind of sick. I mean, you could probably, I bet you can screw this out. You know what? I'm not gonna screw this out because I feel like I'm gonna break it if I do. Anyways, comparing it to the infamous Joby, the thing that every single vlogger uses with a DSLR, this thing is smaller than that. Now, yes, it does not bend, but I mean, as I showed you with the test before, the bending thing is, I don't really rate it. I make so much use out of this, way more than I ever did out of this. People like this Gorillapod because they say, oh, you could wrap it around a railing or you could wrap it around a tree and get your shot. But what I found is that when there's a railing or a tree in sight that you can actually wrap this around, you're not getting a good shot because it's either gonna be too far away from you or because it's gonna be too far away from you. I don't know, I don't have any other points. This thing on the other hand, this thing is so stable. You could put a camera on it. Here, let's do it right now. Camera goes in like that. There's no quick release play, so you know, you're not dealing with any of that Joby crap. That's what it looks like with the camera on it. Place it down like that. Woo! You got a stealth shooter. You got your little handle here to go up and down with. You got your little side panning thing. You know, yo, you can't do this on a Joby, man. Yo, I got a fluid head right here, yo. We ready to get some artsy shots right here, dog. Did you guys even notice that I'm using my iMac screen as a light box? I just have white on the screen and it's lighting me up pretty nice. That's shit that they don't teach at film school. Shout outs to all my friends who went to Toronto Film School and are now $20,000 in debt. So we got panning, we got up and down panning. I didn't go to film school, so I don't know the terms. And let me show you what the banger of all bangers is about this compared to the Joby. Ooh, do you see that? Do you see how far these legs extend? What? This thing does not stand a chance anymore. Let's put this down. Dude, look at that. Look at it next to this dinky ass Gorillapod right here, man. This is the Joby. This is this thing. Hold on, wait. We're not done yet. Take this in. You loosen this right here, and then you gotta next. Okay, that's not supposed to happen. Put it in a little bit. Where's the max? Nope. Man, did I break my must-have Monday on camera? Oh, there we go, there we go. So this thing actually extends to be that big, which is actually crazy. You remember how small it was when I showed it to you before, right? You could get it this big from that little tiny, something that was smaller than this. And look, once it's fully extended, let me get this camera off. Look at that comparison right there. No shot, Joby. Joby, you're slipping, dog. Ladies, remember, big things come in small packages. Not that I have to worry about that. And I know what you're thinking.
But Froggy, I got a Joby so I could use it as a selfie stick.
Bro, let me show you this selfie stick, dog. Yo, you ain't getting shots from that far away with no Joby. This thing is crazy. Instead of a selfie stick, you can use it as a crane. Use it as a upside down crane. What I like so much about this is that when you're on the go, when you're shooting just like I do, especially when you're doing vlogs, man, vlogs are so on the go, you have to be on point with everything. You just extend the legs, open this bad boy up, and you're good. You don't have to worry about it tipping, you know, not falling over or anything like that. It's just much more stable in my opinion. Look at that, look how small that became from as giant of a thing as it was before. I wish I could take this thing outside and show you guys how it performs in the real world, but I kind of have a flat tire, or should I say a flat plank. That's not fair because this is must-have Monday, so I gotta give you guys some real-world scenarios that you would use this must-have item in. So let me try and stage some. So you could be running around filming and holding this as a little image stabilizer, you know, getting your crane shots like I said before. And then you decide, you know what, let's shoot a YouTube video to make millions of views and make that YouTube view money. And in 2 seconds,
what's up YouTube? Today we are playing Smash or Pass.
Amateur mistake of the day. I just plugged my microphone into the headphone socket. I think I really do need to go to film school. One of the reasons people get the Joby is because you can really tackle a lot of obstacles with it. But that doesn't mean I can't tackle obstacles with this right here. Let's just say we are on the street and we gotta set up a shot that's kind of half on the curb and half on the street. This is the curb. This is the street, and for some reason, I don't know why, but you have to set up your camera right in between the two. You just place 2 feet on the curb, 1 down on the street, and boom, you have a perfectly set up shot. I'm only giving this as an example because I've been in this situation where I've set this thing up like this. Just trying to show you how easy it is and how quick it is, and also how reliable it is, where you don't have to worry about it tipping one way or the other. I just really felt limited with that Joby Gorillapod. And the last must-have Monday that I did, that was mainly for filmmakers and videographers. This thing is actually perfect for photographers. I actually think this is better for photographers than it is for filmmakers. Think about how low-key this is, yo. You could hide it under a shirt, get to wherever you're supposed to shoot, boom, pop it down underneath, set your shot up, you know, do your little 30-second long exposure, come back, snag it away, and you're good. Huge thing for me when I buy gear, how stealthy can you be with it so that people don't notice that you're filming? When you bring attention to yourself, you know, it doesn't really get the most natural reaction. And I think that with this thing, you can be pretty stealthy, you see? Walk into a strip club, they would never know. Stealth factor on this, I'd give it a, if it didn't have this handle right here, this would be a 9 out of 10, but because the handle's on it and it kind of makes it hard for certain things, I'm gonna give this a 7.5 out of 10, which is pretty high. Which reminds me, I forgot to do a stealth factor on the microphones last week, which is something I'm trying to do on this show. Because the microphones are really stealthy, I'm gonna give them a 10 out of 10 for stealth because they plug into your phone. Depending where you put them, you can completely hide them, so they get a 10 out of 10 on stealth factor. I don't know, I don't got anything else to say about this. I mean, if you're not convinced at this point, I don't think anything is gonna convince you to get this. Quick overview again, it's very small, smaller than a Joby, extends pretty far, and it's very reliable. You place it down, you don't gotta worry about it slipping and sliding. You know, I never tried to slip and slide when I was a kid. Maybe that's gonna be the next must-have Monday. And yeah, I just totally recommend this, whether you're a videographer, a photographer, a filmographer, or a vlogographer. You can't go wrong with this thing. The only thing I use the Joby for is sometimes I will put a or I'll put a oop. I shouldn't say that because that might be the next must-have Monday. So yeah, this right here, hold on, camera not included. This tripod right here is this week's must-have Monday. I'm gonna try and find some links for you guys, so check the description down below and order this thing through there so then I get a little bit of the, you know. If you're wondering, this is an Optex T25. Who knows, they might not even sell these anymore. So yeah, I fully rate this and I'm gonna be using this until a company sends me something better than this. So yo, companies, look out, yo, you could be on the next must-have Monday. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please smash that like button because it really does help a starving, struggling YouTuber like myself get on top of that recommended page. So the more you like, the more I get recommended to other people. See, is that simple? For the price of 1 cup of coffee a day, you can save. Okay, I'm not gonna go there. Man, this outro shit is harder than it looks. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next must-have Monday. Man, I gotta make that flow a little better. Peace!